Hi, do you struggle with turning your goals into an actual action plan? If so, keep listening. I'm going to share a three-step method that you might find helpful in reversing that trend of not executing your goals. So, one of the first things I do when I have goals or I have a new goal that I want to meet is I write it down. I either write it down on a piece of paper, but a tip that helps me stay organized with my goals is actually writing them out in an Excel spreadsheet. So I'll list in one column what my goal might actually be. So let's just say I have a goal that I want to reduce unnecessary business expenses for my small business. Okay, so that's the goal. Step two in the process is that I would look at what is my why for that goal. So I want to reduce unnecessary business expenses, but why? Like it seems pretty obvious, right? No one wants to waste money or spend money they don't need to spend. But I literally ask myself why, no matter how silly it might seem. And one of the things I have written as my why is that I want to redirect that cash towards savings. So that crystallizes, my why even more. Not that I just don't want to unnecessarily spend money, but I want that money to actually go someplace. I want it to go into my savings account. I want it to go into my retirement account, whatever the case may be. So connecting your goal with why you want that goal, I find that to be really motivating, especially during those times when, you're not working on that goal and you see you haven't, worked towards it in a while. I find that helps me understanding why I wanted this goal in the first place, helps to keep me motivated and get back on track if I've fallen off track. So in my first column in Excel, I have reduce unnecessary business expenses. In my second column in Excel, my why is to redirect that cash to savings. So the third thing that I do when I'm trying to turn a goal into an action plan is that I write out what are the action steps required to make that goal a reality. So column one, goal, reduce unnecessary business expenses. Column two, why, redirect that money to my savings account. Column number three would be the action items. And the action items I have for that goal is to properly categorize expenses in my accounting software. That is so key. Sometimes we as solo entrepreneurs, that credit card expense that's connected directly to our accounting software, it comes in there. And sometimes it categorizes it correctly, sometimes it doesn't. Also, if we manually enter expenses into our accounting software, sometimes we might not categorize it correctly. So just making sure, number one, the first step to figuring out how I can reduce unnecessary expenses is to just know, what am I spending money on in my business that I don't need to spend money on? And the first step to doing that is looking at my accounting software to see what I'm spending money on. And that has to be properly categorized for me to understand that. So that's the very first step. Another thing that I have in here as a required action item is to review my profit and loss statement on a monthly basis. So every month, or you can even do it quarterly or semi-annually or whatever frequency you want to do it on, is that I look at my profit and loss statement to see, okay, where am I spending money? Is there anything I've purchased in the past month or quarter or 6 months that I really didn't need or I didn't end up using that much, that sort of thing. So having it properly categorized so I understand what that expense is, and making sure I'm reviewing my books periodically helps me to know whether or not I've spent money on an unnecessary expense. And if I have, then I know, okay, I'm not going to buy that again next month or next year or ever again. And I'm going to use that's money now sitting in my business bank account that I can use for other purposes. So that is my 3-step process. that I use for turning my goals into an action plan. And that helps me see the big picture direction that I want to go in for the period that I've put that plan together for. It might be a monthly action plan, it might be a quarterly or a semi-annual action plan. It helps me to, improve my finances, and it provides me the first step I need to take to make my goal a reality. And, sometimes, I don't always reach my goals, and we don't always, do the things we set out to do. And with goal setting and that sort of thing, it's totally okay. Perfection in putting together an action plan, a financial plan, it, perfection is not the aim. The aim is to, get in the practice of thinking about what your aspirations are and working towards them. And the reason why perfection is not the aim in that exercise is because business and personal finances and circumstances, they change over time. So you need to adjust. You may need to adjust what your original goal was. So thank you for listening. I hope you found this information useful. Remember, you can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and you can also visit my website. Also, remember that all the information provided in this podcast is meant for educational, general purposes only and is not intended to be personal financial advice. Until next time, this is Dawn Mabry Chestnut signing off.